has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast. You're going to want to get the SportsGrid app on iOS or Android in the Play Store. It's free. It's unbelievable. It's got everything, in-game odds. How about this? You can watch the network on your phone and listen to the network on your phone. It's got the TV side, the radio side. Follow your favorite hosts like Carver High. The SportsGrid app, it is smarter to be on SportsGrid. Did you know we're streaming on X every day, always? All week, all month, just constant. At SportsGrid-Live. We're on right now, as a matter of fact, and people dig us. Best in show. Hey, did you know you can get the Ferrall Coast to Coast and Ferrall on a Bench podcast wherever you get podcasts? And I think like iTunes is the easiest one to get it. And you get both shows. It's great. Monday through Friday, everybody's happy. All right, let's look at the lineup tonight on SportsGrid TV at 6. It's Front Office Sports Today. At 6:30, it's GTD with the Kevin Walsh. At 8 o'clock, it's the original OG in-game live. Right now, like yesterday, we're doing it again with my boy, Spittin' Speeds, Dane Martinez, along with the fascist, Adam Kaufman, my buddy from Boston. What a shame that he lives in Boston and raises his family there. At 10 o'clock, it's Sports Rage with Gabe Morency. And on SportsGrid Radio, at 8 o'clock, it's The Institution, Carver and Lisi. Everybody's doing it. SportsGrid TV and SportsGrid Radio. Why don't you do it as well? All right. MLB power rankings. And Carver High likes to always say, from the people that know.
Right. Here we go. This week's edition of the MLB power rankings, according to people who think they know. According to people who think they know. These are what they are. And they have the Detroit Tigers in the top spot this week, followed by the Dodgers, Yankees, Mets, Cubs, Twins, Cardinals, Phillies, Giants, and Padres. The updated this week.
The Phillies
MLB,
are better than the Mets. They're better than the Cardinals. Correct. They're better than the Twins. They're better than the Cubs.
Look,
that's just all there is to it.
Let's just call this like it is. Like the Cardinals are on they had a little heater for the past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
They suck. They're not making the playoffs this year. The Cardinals aren't a good team. They're on a little heater. The
Twins and Cardinals are on there because of their double heaters.
Correct. That is precisely why they are on there. So there you go with that. And where do the Tigers, though, fall? They might be number one in the power rankings, but they're not number one on the odds board, as you will see here. In fact, they are tied for fourth, 12-1 with the Phillies. Dodgers, Yankees, Mets, Phillies, Tigers, Braves, Cubs, Mariners, Padres, and Rangers on the big board.
Are you kidding me? Does that say the Braves at 16?
It does say the Braves at 16.
They're a 500 team. That. Stop that. Just stop.
Well, they're getting healthy. They're getting Strider back tonight. They're getting Acuna back
ahead of Seattle and even God Almighty, I'd say San Diego and San Francisco. For Christ's sakes.
I honestly believe Seattle is the team that I would, if you just wanted to try to get some of these bigger numbers and like stash it away for later, their pitching is so good that if they could just find just a little bit more hitting at the deadline this year, like just a little bit more hitting, they could be super dangerous in terms of winning the whole thing. I think Seattle is a real good.
Agree.
They have a couple of these. I would be very nervous if I had to play Seattle in the playoffs in October. And what else are they good? We said it with the last 2 days. They're great on the road. They're good road team. And that stuff matters.
Do you buy the Friars at all with all the talent they have in pitching? That's a no.
I don't know if the lineup is necessarily like, I know that Tatis, Machado, and Merrill are really good, and Arise he's a great average hitter. I think that their lineup after those four is yeah. I mean, I think it's a little suspect. They could use a bat or two in there as well. I think it down the road, and maybe one more starter. Like King's good. I think that the group that they're currently running with, I don't think they're as good as last year when they took the Dodgers to the brink. I think they need a little bit more. We'll see. Ooh. See if they can get a little bit more.
What about the Giants? That's a no.
I don't believe in the Giants. I don't, because they
just keep winning.
For any of these teams, when I think about them in the National League, it's can they beat the Dodgers in a 5 or a 7 game series? Like can they beat the Dodgers? I don't think the Giants would beat the Dodgers. I really don't. I don't
think the Diamondbacks can.
I think the Diamondbacks can, because I think the Diamondbacks could just beat the hell out of them with offense like they did 2 years ago. Like the Diamondbacks, and they can hit the Dodgers. Like they show that they can hit the Dodgers. They don't have a problem against even like tonight. Like right. Yamamoto, they scored runs off of him last week. Like the Dodgers, the Diamondbacks can hit. They have big bats up and down that lineup. And they have enough pitching. They showed it 2 years ago.
What's even better watching the Dodgers during the skid is they're doing it all at home. They're losing on their homestand every game.
Yeah, they're having a very tough time right now. And we'll see if that could change tonight. Let's get to tonight. We have a lot to do. Let's go. We'll go back to Miami, where the Cubs and the Marlins will get together again. Jameson Shots of Tyone against Ryan Weathers. Jameson Shots of Tyone has given up 13 homers in 49 innings this year. That's a foreshadow for Tater time. Minus 150 for the Cubs, plus 125 for Miami, and an 8.5.
Well, they lost last night. It seemed like a paycheck game, and I'm going to go with Weathers tonight and the Marlins again for the shocker at $1.22 on the plus money side. Can we get a little shocker action going?
How about that? The Pirates have lost 4 in a row now. They're at home again for the Reds. Nick Martinez and Bailey Falter. Reds minus 145, plus $1.20 for the Buccos, and a 7.5.
I mean, the Reds win every game they play. What have they won? 5 in a row? 6 in a row? What am I going to bet on the Pirates? Are you kidding me? Like, honestly, hit me over the head with a sledgehammer, Frank. Honestly, I can't do it. It's got to be the Reds again. I don't care who's pitching.
It's gotta be the Reds again, indeed. Atlanta opens a series in D.C. against the Nationals. Spencer Strider making his second return of the year. Remember, he came back a couple weeks ago from a year off, and then he hurt himself against the Blue Jays that day. Now he comes back after the hamstring strain. He'll face Mitchell Parker Lewis, can't lose. Minus 180 for the Braves, plus $1.50 for the Nats, and an 8.5.
I never bet against Mitchell Parker. Lewis never loses. I mean, it's just automatic. And look at that money I'm going to get. $1.58, for Christ's sakes. This is craziness.
Got to have the $1.58. The Mets and the Red Sox again at Fenway. Clay Holmes against Walker Buehler coming off the IL. Mets minus 145. Sox plus $1.20 and an 8.5.
I'm going to take a huge Rogie Vachon here and take Clay Holmes and the Mets to get off the schneid and beat Buehler, who has been out for a few weeks. So I'm going to say he finally gets stung at Fenway. Mets beat him.
I'll give you the rest when we come back. Plenty of other games. A lot of late-night games today, too.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
knows how to show love to our everyday heroes. So if you're a first responder, you are in for some perks. Lots of hotels and casino offer big discounts to any first responders who can show valid or volunteer ID. So treat yourself to a discounted stay. You deserve it. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Still underdogs at home, on the road, and all of these games. It's time for people to start understanding it's a legitimate team that has a chance not only to win the series against Cleveland, but also maybe even go all the way to the NBA Finals.
I think a lot of the focus has been on why the Cavs have not played particularly well. A lot of that is due to injury, of course, but I think that's taking too much credit away from what the Pacers have done.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Derek Carr has called it a career after 11 NFL seasons.
I think they knew before the draft that they had to make a move at this point. And by the way, Derek Carr did have a pretty good career, made as many Pro Bowls as Eli Manning. So based on that, he should go to the Hall of Fame like Eli Manning. Well, Eli Manning does have a couple rings at that point, but always wants to take a shot at Manning, who should not actually be in the Hall of Fame. Shouldn't be questioned an under 500 quarterback for his career. Stop the Manning.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple 15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Ferrall has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall.
Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money.
It's Ferrall. Coast to coast.
All right, we're going through the baseball games for tonight, and the Yankees start up a set in the Bronx with Texas, and they're a decent team.
They certainly do. It'll be Patrick Corbin for the Rangers tonight. Will Warren, the all-time great, goes for the Yankees. Minus 215 for the Yankees, plus 180 for the Rangers, and an 8.5.
Yeah, listen, I agree. Like Frank was saying, whatever, he's the worst pitcher, Warren, he's ever seen. Listen, that's fine. But, Patrick Corbin could be his cousin. Okay. So I think the Yankees will still rake against this guy Corbin tonight in the Bronx. That lineup of theirs, they can hit flat out. I think Texas is good, but I don't buy Corbin to beat them. I think that they can rough him up too.
The Astros will be in Tampa again tonight against the Rays. Zach Littell goes for the Rays. He's given up 13 homers this year in 54 innings. Brandon Walter making his season debut for the Astros. Minus 145 for Tampa. Plus $120 for the Astros and a 9.5.
So the Astros are better, and your boy Littell is a stiff, as you like to call him. And so
he stinks.
I'm going Houston.
I can tell you we'll be going after him in a few minutes as well. You think I'm going to leave going after Zach Littell off the tater card tonight? I'm not doing that. The Padres are in Toronto. Dylan Cease and the Basset Hound going tonight. I got this minus 110 both ways for the pick. I'm 7.5 for the total.
So I'm gonna go at that price with the Basset Hound. I think they're relatively terrible, the Jays, their lineup. But I think the Friars have been stubbing their toe lately. They just got swept at home by Seattle. And for whatever reason, I think Dylan Cease needs to cut his beard because he's not pitching well at all this year. And he looks like he lives in the woods.
He does look like he lives in the woods. The Orioles are in Milwaukee against the Brewers again. Keegan Aiken against Logan Henderson. Who? Minus 135 for the Brewers, plus 115 for the Orioles, and an 8.5.
I mean, here's another example. I said this earlier on the show. Like, all of these bad teams, I am just running to the window to bet against. I'm on the Brewers, and I hit them last night. Every bad team I hit, I cashed. But they all lose every night. They're going to lose again tonight. Pirates are going to lose.
Yeah.
Baltimore's going to lose. The White Sox are going to lose. Colorado's going to lose. I mean, it just never ends, does it?
Never ends, indeed. Minnesota and Cleveland have been completely washed away. They were supposed to finish last night's game and then start another one. Well, they're not going to play any baseball. They're going to try again tomorrow to finish last night's game
and then start another game.
No, they've already pushed one of the games back to September for a doubleheader. So they're going to try to at least get the game and a half in tomorrow.
Sunday?
Yeah, exactly. Seattle in Chicago against the White Sox again. Bryce Wilson for Chicago. Casey Lagamina going for Seattle. They're minus 180. White Sox
Kenny
plus
Loggins.
$1.50. Yep, Camp Lamawana. 8.5 is the total.
Yeah, I'm on him, Legamina. He's done really well. A 1.80 ERA is 3-1. Seattle wins every game they play, and on the road, it's even worse. They're going to smack the White Sox again.
Detroit is in St. Louis again. They got smacked last night. That means it's a good night to have Tariq Skubal on the mound to stop the bleeding. Eric Fetty, who's been pretty good going for the Cardinals. Tigers minus 180 plus $1.50 for St. Louis and a 7.5.
Is that even possible that you could have the Stones to bet on Fetty? Well, I'll tell you this much. I'll take him on a run line. I'll take the Cardinals on the run line plus the 1.5 at minus 115. I like that. I think Skubal beats them by a run, but I like the Cardinals getting that 1.5 because they've been hot. I mean, like we've said, the Twins and Cardinals are so hot that they're in the power rankings. I don't think deserve to be there, but they are right now. They're in their they're in their little window here of success for this season. I don't know if it'll continue, but I'll take a stab of them tonight.
Phillies and the Rockies in Colorado again. Jesus Luzardo and Antonio Santazella, another gas can. Minus 290 for Philly, plus 235 for Colorado, and 11.5.
I mean, I'm legit here. I'm willing to lay it, and you never hear me say that ever at that price of like almost $3. But they are going to rake again. Luzardo's unbeaten. They're going to beat their ass. You can money line, run line, and give me the over. I mean, that's just all there is to it. They stink. And flat out, I think Senna's up. I mean, this guy is literally, he's like the Suez Canal. This guy. I mean, look at him. 6.3 ERA. I mean, how is he even pitching in the majors? This guy's terrible. They're going to rake on his ass. I bet they score 7 runs in the first inning.
I hope so, including with the guy whose homer we're going to mention in a little bit. Hopefully he'll be part of that 7 runs.
He's going to hit 3
in the first inning. Royals are in San Francisco again at Oracle against the Giants. Michael Lorenzen and Hayden Birdsong. Minus 150 for the Giants, 7.5 the total.
Yeah, I'm on Otis Birdsong and the Giants at Oracle. Remember Otis Birdsong? It's NBA old school song.
Oh, the O-Dog. Angels have been hot. Meanwhile, the A's, they have been cold. They've lost 6 in a row. They'll have Gunnar Hoglund tonight against Kyle Hendricks. Minus 175 for the A's, plus $1.45 for the Angels, and a 10.5.
This is, to me, the A's tonight in Sacktown finally, because your boy Jimi Hendrix is another one that gets roasted like onions on the grill every time he pitches. So I think the winning streak ends tonight. Stinky fish. Give me the A's in West Sacktown.
I have one other game, late night, and the Taters, which we'll do when we come back. Of course, L.A. and Arizona getting together again at Chavez Ravine. We'll give you the numbers there. And a Dinger Tuesday Tater list for tonight. Dinger Tuesday.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip? Try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Chiefs Chargers in Brazil on Friday on YouTube. They're going to give everyone that game for free. They're so generous because the rest of the season they're going to fleece you for all your money.
That's one, Scott. That division to me, based on what's happened to the Chiefs the last couple seasons, that division, the AFC West, could be up for grabs here. I know Chiefs fans think I'm probably out of my mind.
Ferrall, coast to coast, only on SportsGrid.
I actually like the fact that they won 7 games against a quality opponent here and still had to face adversity even in a game number 7. How are we setting up this next series with a rested Minnesota Timberwolves team taking on OKC fresh from the fight here?
They had an extremely, maybe it's just too strong a statement to say, easier pathway than people thought, particularly because of their size.
The early line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
Just a little flyer, couple of 18.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Jesus, I didn't even know that. Like, you learn something new every day, don't you? It's the craziest thing. If I could only remember the things that I learn every day. Whatever. Here we go. I better move on to the final baseball game before the red phone rings.
Arizona and the Dodgers at Chavez Ravine. The Dodgers have been sliding here lately. Yamamoto going tonight against the Snakes. Ryan Nelson for Arizona. Minus 240 for the Dodgers. Plus 2 Bills for Arizona and a 9.5.
Yeah, I'm on the Dodgers here on the run line with Yamamoto at minus $120. I think he stops the bleeding tonight at Dodger Stadium.
I think he stops the bleeding as well. But you never know. You could get that over. It's those two teams play some crazy games, the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks. All right, how about some long balls for this evening? Everybody loves Dinger Tuesday. Let's go and get ourselves cooking here. And, I like to go after certain pitchers, and there's a lot of them going tonight that I like to go after, including Kyle Hendricks of the Angels. I love going after him, especially in a place like Sacramento where the ball flies out pretty good. The Butler did it. Plus 425 for the Butler tonight to get the A's off the deck.
Whoa.
I told you we were going after that Sentazella. Might as well go after him with Bryce Harper. Now, look, I know this number's been completely banged down. That's why sometimes you shop early. It was 440 in the wee hours this morning when I started this. It's in like the 300s now. I don't care. I would still play Bryce Harper because he's going to homer off of Sentazella tonight. I like Anthony Santander plus 440 against the Padres and Dylan Cease tonight. I told you I was going to have to go Zach Littell also. Jeremy Pena's got a homer off him in his career, plus 500 for him tonight in Tampa. Kyle Stowers, 2 for 2 with 2 homers off of Jameson shots at Tyone. Plus Jesus. 550. Let's make it 3 tonight. And I'm going with a little deep shot here. Wilmer Flores has had a hell of a year so far for the Giants. And he destroys this Lorenzen going for Kansas City tonight. Plus 870 for Wilmer Flores. I know it's tough to get it out of that ballpark, Oracle, but that price will take our shot with Flores for the big ball tonight at plus 870. The Butler, Harper, Santander, Pena, Stowers, and Flores. And you love history. DJ LeMahieu, now, this is old history. This is before he was on the gas or while he was on the gas because he's not on it anymore. He has 6 homers off of Patrick Corbin in his career. 6 homers off of Patrick Corbin in his career.
Give me LeMahieu tonight in the Bronx.
He's like 10-1. He's like plus 950, plus 1,000.
He hit one Saturday.
To hit a homer. He hit one on Saturday. So if you want to have a little fun sprinkle tonight in the Bronx, maybe it's DJ LeMahieu.
It's crazy. Corbin. He looks like he's on the gas again the way he's been hitting the ball. Even on his outs, he's been hitting like line drive shots to the outfield deep. He's looking like he's back on the leaded. Well,
then maybe he's worth a splash tonight there in the Bronx against Patrick Corbin.
Can I get a free refill at $3.13 a gallon with the gas for my boy DJ? Never plays LeMahieu.
He needs it, man. That's for sure. He could absolutely use some of the gas. There you go. The baseball for
Chicks
tonight.
Dig the long ball.
Chicks dig the long ball, baby. Let's go. We could use a few tonight. How about hockey?
Everybody loves hockey.
Everybody does love hockey. The Eastern Conference Finals start tonight in Raleigh. Probably already out there with the barbecue, tailgating for that game. That big parking lot down there in Raleigh, getting themselves ready for the Panthers.
That's the worst arena I've ever been in for hockey.
It's
so boring. Honestly, like I was in hell. Honestly, the drunk tank is more fun to call a game in.
I was in there. I was there once back in the day. We used to do like a yearly hockey trip. Me, cousin Sean, a couple other guys. We go to some stop to all these arenas on these. So one year we did Carolina, Washington, and came back up. Man, it was in the middle of nowhere. We're looking for a bar pregame. There's nothing to find. There's no bar. It's just that
there's nothing there.
To find a bar. Nowhere near the arena. We found one nowhere near the arena. Then we had to get to the arena for the game. But yeah,
it's in the woods.
After the Sportsbook Consigliere, I'll give you all the numbers for the Panthers and the Hurricanes tonight. Game number 1 of the Stanley Cup Eastern Conference Finals.
The Sportsbook Consigliere is coming on.
In the mix today, yeah.
You are a Pirates fan. I don't think you've got a reason good enough for me to be wearing Met stuff when the Mets are playing the Pirates right now. I don't think I'm gonna go, okay, I see it at the end of your explanation.
I'm gonna put it on Vinny. I'm gonna put it on all the Mets fans. The Pirates won 2 in a row. They fired the manager over the weekend. A new era of Pirates baseball has begun.
Game time decisions only on SportsGrid.
Your college performance does not relate to the National Football League. It never does.
They played side by side with each other, and he wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers. That's an issue. That's a major issue.
It wasn't that it wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers.
Ever got to Texas.
It wasn't that it wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers. It was Quinn Ewers' program, which Steve Sarkisian made very clear the entirety of the time that Arch Manning was in Austin. So for you to argue that because Ewers is a 7th-round pick, Arch Manning is not that good and not deserving of being first overall is asinine. It is wrong. It is incorrect.
He's going to be number 1 overall. My whole thing was I'm buying
you're doing your thing now where you double down on a take that is incorrect.
The best quarterback prospect to ever hit college football can't play.
He's
over
not
a 7th-round
There were
pick
2
who didn't even
perfectly
play
rated
good.
quarterback recruits in the history of the sport.
Quinn Ewers couldn't even play at Ohio State. He couldn't even play at Ohio State.
Quinn Ewers, go look it up.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Chiefs Chargers in Brazil on Friday on YouTube. They're going to give everyone that game for free. They're so generous because the rest of the season they're going to fleece you for all your money.
That's one, Scott. That division to me, based on what's happened to the Chiefs the last couple seasons, that division, the AFC West, could be up for grabs here. I know Chiefs fans think I'm probably out of my mind.
Ferrall, coast to coast, only on SportsGrid.
a blast to have on the Sportsbook Consigliere, Dave Sharapan, the original OG from Pittsburgh. My kind of guy. You see him on In Game Live, on Bostonian, in the book versus the book. So first of all, I want to start with your partner in crime there. I mean, this guy with his Boston stuff and the Celtics, and just, oh my God! Like, at any point did you think about getting a 9 Glock for yourself? I mean, honestly, like, I love that guy. You know, I love him. I think the world of him. I think he's the best. But he's another one of these painful Boston fans. I mean, honestly, where do they grow these people?
I don't know. Great to see you as well. And I saw Mikey during the break, and of course Frankie producing. So much so, Scott, we're taking the next 3 days off. We're taking the next 3 days off. We need a break. Everybody needs a break from their annoying friend from Boston, especially after the Celtics lose to the Knicks. I mean, really, it's just too much.
You get a week off, maybe 2.
Yeah. It's one of those situations, but we'll figure it out. He'll figure it out. You know, he's trying to hold out hope that the Red Sox are better than they are. They're really not. I mean, they're really not. And, we're not even talking about hockey anymore. The Patriots
are favored in like 11 games. Are you kidding me?
I was going to address that with you real quick and throw it back to you. Did you see that? One, so obviously you did. But 2, you might as well be talking about the Patriots like they got Brady back again, the way he's talking. Like,
honestly,
the second best team in that division and legit going to make the playoffs. The season wins at 7.5. I told him to relax, 7-10, maybe 8-9. That's not going to be good enough to get you in the playoffs. He's actually legit said they're going to make the playoffs. They're not making the playoffs. But our Steelers, what are we doing, Scott? I mean, still
it's
no
so
quarterback.
Frustrating. I'm
what
thinking
the
about,
hell's going on?
Honestly, I may go to Dublin and not come back and just stay there. Go to that game and just stay there. Give my son the tickets to all the games. Give you the tickets. I don't care.
Right.
Like, if they don't, like, are you serious? This guy's still playing this game with the Steelers, this Aaron Rodgers guy? Are you kidding me?
I don't get it. It's never been done before. They've never had this type of thing happen before and let a player kind of dictate what they're going to do. I don't know. I know the division got better. Did you hear he was
signing this week with the Steelers?
Yeah, I heard the same thing. Numbers didn't move. There's not a number, not a place in Vegas, nobody offshore, nothing that I know. It doesn't move the number. All right? It may help win a game extra, but the situation is set for what it is. And we'll see.
What did the people in Vegas think of the Knights getting their ass beat?
It was over quick, and there was a sliver of hope there, and then they lost that game in overtime, and it was done. Edmonton, legit, you could make the argument they're the best team left. I mean, you could make that argument with 3 teams. Scott, I think it's wide open.
Yeah, I've had them all year, the Oilers. Like, I just think they're the most dangerous team in the league when they get going and passing the puck and skating and everything. And people say, Skinner's terrible. He has 2 shutouts. Pickard's terrible. He was playing great. They kick everyone's ass, and I think they want a piece of the Panthers again, and I wouldn't be surprised they play again. Let me ask you this question, though.
Yes, sir.
I already talked to Mike DeCourcy today, and I told the audience and I told DeCourcy that it's going to be like repeat offender day on Coast to Coast, because I'm going right back to the well with the same questions I'm going to ask you about the Pirates. Okay. I am sick and tired of a couple things. One, watching them. They are so awful. And I mean, I know a high school team where I live that's better than them. Honestly, they don't hit at all, ever. Somebody said to me today, like, oh, DeCourcy, the Rockies are better, or the Rockies aren't better than the Pirates. I go, yeah, they are. They scored 14 runs the other day and had 20 hits. The Pirates haven't had 20 hits the whole season. I mean, They suck like no other. I can't even watch them. And Skeens, honestly, looks like he wants to hang himself playing for the Pirates. He looks like they're so awful, he's breaking out. He's got act on his neck, under his beard, really bad.
We were both there growing up and living in Pittsburgh in the 80s, and it was bad. because the 70s was a lot of fun and the 80s was terrible. And the discourse going on in Pittsburgh is reminding me of that, where nobody wants to go to the games anymore. And they have literally the Cy Young favorite. I mean, the guy is the number one choice to win the Cy Young in his second year, full year. Pitches Sunday, a gem against the Phillies on the road, gives up one run. They can't score, takes the loss. It's dire straits. It's really, really bad. They've gone 24 consecutive games scoring 4 runs or less. 24 games.
Did you see that game Sunday when he was Kiner Falefa came up to the plate and the guy Brown said he's the hardest guy on the team to strike out. I spit out my drink and in 3 pitches he was on the bench. 3 pitches and he stood there and watched all 3 of them. He never swung once. They are so awful. And let me ask you this question. Everyone's talking about them trading Skeens. I would rather cut my feet off than trade Paul Skeens. They own his ass, and I say take it to the hilt because he's only going to get better. This guy's like a generational player, and I do not believe at the end of that contract, that at the end of that rookie deal, whatever the hell you want to call it, that he's going to be worse. I think he's going to be better and more valuable even then. But everyone in baseball, MLB Network, every single guy, Harold Reynolds, trade him. They'll get the greatest haul of prospects and players ever. It's like Herschel Walker. You know what? Screw you. They have one thing on the entire team worth watching, and you get rid of him, then I'm done with him.
I agree with you 100%. Skeens Day was a thing last year. It's taken a little step back, but I know I watch him pitch every time he pitches. I mean, and I'm a Pirate fan. So I want to see him pitch, but I've been betting against them. Not going to lie. I mean, because they cannot score. They don't hit when he pitches. They don't hit, period. So he's been favored on the road in places, and the home team has won. So getting plus money against them has worked as far as the betting. You wouldn't trade him,
would you?
No chance. No chance. I want to keep him as long as we can. I would love to find a way to do something to turn it around like next year and go, you know what, Paul, we're going to give you an 8-year deal. Maximum we can give you. Will you stay? The guy would own the city. He would own all of us forever. I don't think he would do it because
I don't think he would do it either.
The biggest bag.
I think he wants out now, but don't tell me he's the only guy that's ever ended up being drafted by a crappy team and had to suffer in their first few years in the league, like prison. He's not the only guy that's ever had to do this. He acts like he's got that mopey look on his face, like he wants out already.
Yeah, he's doing the best he can. I mean, it's one of those situations where he goes out and pitches every 5 days. He says all the right things after the game, but you just wonder, like, what he would look like in the Dodgers. I mean, you just know, I mean,
God.
I'm wearing the Diamondback stuff tonight, and I'm going, even in Arizona, you put him on one of these teams, and he's a game changer. Cubs. Forget.
I bet on the Diamondbacks last night and hit that bet, and the Dodgers have been sucking lately. Who do you like in the Knicks-Pacers series and the Thunder T-Wolves that starts tonight?
I think Thunder win the series. I think it's an extended series, 6 or 7 games. I'd love to see Minnesota win, but that fan base is tortured, and, I mean, maybe they can do this, but they're not going to win the final. Frankie wants me to say the Knicks. I want to say the Knicks. I really do.
But you think the Pacers are going to beat them? Oh, look at the picture of it. Look at this picture of it.
They got this. Frankie got me on blackmail. I got all the Knicks stuff, even the foam finger. I think
look at him.
Win. I think the Pacers win in 7. I do. Sorry,
Listen,
Frankie.
You're awesome. Are they really building another Circa?
No. False. See you later.
You are a Pirates fan. I don't think you've got a reason good enough for me to be wearing Met stuff when the Mets are playing the Pirates right now. I don't think I'm gonna go, okay, I see it at the end of your explanation.
I'm gonna put it on Vinny. I'm gonna put it on all the Mets fans. The Pirates won 2 in a row. The fired the manager over the weekend. A new era of Pirates baseball has begun.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Your college performance does not relate to the National Football League. It never does.
They played side by side with each other, and he wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers. That's an issue. That's a major issue.
It wasn't that it wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers.
Ever got to Texas.
It wasn't that it wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers. It was Quinn Ewers' program, which Steve Sarkisian made very clear the entirety of the time that Arch Manning was in Austin. So for you to argue that because Ewers is a 7th-round pick, Arch Manning is not that good and not deserving of being first overall is asinine. It is wrong. It is incorrect.
He's going to be number 1 overall. My whole thing was I'm buying
you're doing your thing now where you double down on a take
that is incorrect. The best quarterback prospect to ever hit college football can't play
He's
over
not,
a 7th-round
There were
pick
two
who didn't even
perfectly
play
rated
good.
quarterback recruits in the history of the sport.
Quinn Ewers couldn't even play at Ohio State. He couldn't even play at Ohio State.
Quinn Ewers. Go look it up.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
Chiefs Chargers in Brazil on Friday on YouTube. They're going to give everyone that game for free. They're so generous because the rest of the season they're going to fleece you for all your money.
That's one, Scott. That division to me, based on what's happened to the Chiefs the last couple seasons, that division, the AFC West, could be up for grabs here. I know Chiefs fans think I'm probably out of my mind.
Ferrall, coast to coast, only on SportsGrid.
Dave just said that he was a huge fan of Carl's Jr.'s burgers. I was surprised to hear that at this point of the show, but always good to see the consigliere styling on C2C, giving us input into everything. All right, we're talking about hockey because everybody loves hockey.
Yep, Panthers and Hurricanes tonight. Game 1, Stanley Cup Eastern Conference Finals. Here is Matthew Tkachuk. Of course, these two teams know each other very well. Tkachuk says not easy to play against the Hurricanes.
I don't think really anybody enjoys playing Carolina. Like, they're a tough team to play against, and they make it hard on you every game. But yeah, there were good memories here in this building a couple years ago in that whole series for us. But it's all back to zeros now. It's a new year, new series. I mean, you think about it, the last. I personally thought Carolina was going to beat the Rangers last year. So when you look at it, it could have been 3 years in a row of us playing against each other in the conference finals. So I think that just speaks to how not only talented our two teams are, but how we're built for playoffs, and they are as well. Like they're a great team, and it's going to make for another great showdown.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think they have their hands full tonight, in particular, based on the schedule that they've just been through and got through and finished off the Leafs the hard way, but in 7 on a row. But they look fantastic doing it, didn't they? The basically 12-2 in goals in games 5 and 7 added up. But now they got to play this monster, and they are, without a doubt, I talked about Jarvis, Aho, Svechnikov. It goes a lot deeper than that. They mean business. And I think tonight they have to take advantage of where they are and handle their business. I think anything less than a win tonight for them is a failure. And I think if they lose tonight, I'm not even kidding you, I think it spells doom the rest of the way, because they need to jump on them tonight and win this game and say, we are here. There's not going to be any sweeps or any of this other stuff. We're here, we're winning this, and we're starting off with a win. And otherwise, I think they'll find themselves again at the wrong end of it.
Yeah, look, I agree. I usually don't really subscribe to the feeling that game 1 is a must-win and it's all, it's a long series.
Right.
I think this is as must-win as it gets for Carolina tonight. They got swept by them 2 years ago. They've had so many days off. Florida's just played every other night. I mean, they just played Sunday night. They played 7 games. You're at home. If you're going to win this series, you have got to establish something tonight in your building, because I'll tell you what, they lose tonight at home and Florida gets them again in the first game. Florida could sweep them like they did 2 years ago. Florida will take them down because that Carolina group, it's like that gets up here with them. This has to. Every single year, the same thing. And I could see it steamroll. I think they got to win tonight, honestly. This is a must-win for them. And I think they will.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I think Carolina's going to win. And they are favorites clearly. Minus 134 I've got them at this moment. Down minus 125 there. I got them up to minus 134. I've got the Panthers now at plus 112 with the 5.5 total.
All right. Yeah, I'm on them. I'm with you. So we're in the same boat.
Yes, indeed we are. But we also both think Florida wins the series, just doesn't win tonight. We both think that Florida's going to win this series. We just don't think they'll win.
Yeah, I do too.
All right, and how about this? We even get the player props for the hockey tonight. Bobrovsky, 35-plus saves at 11-1. Look out. Reinhart to score a goal. Marchand under a point. They don't think Marchand will get a point tonight. Svechnikov to score at plus 220. Svechnikov first goal at 13-1. The most bet player props for that game tonight. How about that? I'm giving you all of it today. Even the NHL player.
Yeah, I like Marchand to go over. I like him to have a point. I think he'll have an assist or frankly a goal tonight. He's a big game player. I do not believe that the Panthers are going to allow 35 shots tonight. If they do, they're going to get their ass beat. Okay, they need to get into this team clamps down on you like no other, and they need to give them a taste of their own medicine. They need to play the same kind of way. 3 guys back at the blue line like old trap days, Mike, and you come across the line, you're going to get lit up. I thought, I saw a lot of that in, the Winnipeg Jets the other night in Dallas. I thought they were clamping down. It was a 1-1 game, right? And then they beat them 2-1. So if they give up 35 shots, they're screwed. And then what's the other one? Svechnikov, anytime goal. I can see that, certainly. And then the last one, what is it?
Svechnikov
him to have the first goal.
First goal.
Screw it. Look,
that's
a guy that I bet on for an anytime goal is Jarvis. I think he's been on fire for them in the playoffs. More so than Aho, more so, in my view, than Svechnikov. In fact, if I were to guess, I think Jarvis leads them in points in the playoffs.
2 other Stanley Cup betting notes as we start the conference finals here. Favorites so far in the Stanley Cup playoffs, 44-26. That is a 63% straight up clip. Hurricanes obviously are 8-2 in the playoffs. They've only lost 2 games. Stars are 3-0 as a favorite. Home favorites, 34-15 straight up, plus 4.8 units. And overs have hit at 56% over the first 2 rounds, including the Panthers, Scotty. The Panthers have played 9 of their 12 games so far to the over in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Well, then give me the over then, and then I'll take the we already did take the home team. And look, yes. Every game is different. To me, it's just not so cut and dried. Oh, take the home team and take the over because the sportsbook puts out those trends. I want to punch some people in the face. Like, shut up. Like, did I hit the Vegas game over the Oilers? 4-3 with 0.4 left? I bet that. You have to know when to make the play, to make the bet that you're going to break a rhythm or a heater, a team that's hot, that never loses. When are you going to, break the streak? And, right now, tonight to me, it is must for them. Because if they just keep losing games to the Florida Panthers, they'll never beat them. They'll never beat them.
Yeah.
And at the end of the road and at the end of the rope, who's going to be left holding on? Florida. And who's going to be dropped into the river? The Canes. They need to win tonight to say, we are here. Hello.
You are a Pirates fan. I don't think you've got a reason good enough for me to be wearing Met stuff when the Mets are playing the Pirates right now. I don't think I'm gonna go, okay, I see it at the end of your explanation.
I'm gonna put it on Vinny. I'm going to put it on all the Mets fans. The Pirates won 2 in a row. They fired the manager over the weekend. A new era of Pirates baseball has begun.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Your college performance does not relate to the National Football League. It never does.
They played side by side with each other, and he wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers. That's an issue. That's a major issue.
It wasn't that it wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers.
Ever got to Texas.
It wasn't that it wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers. It was Quinn Ewers' program, which Steve Sarkisian made very clear the entirety of the time that Arch Manning was in Austin. So for you to argue that because Ewers is a 7th-round pick, Arch Manning is not that good and not deserving of being first overall is asinine. It is wrong. It is incorrect.
I told you he's going to be number 1 overall. My whole thing was I'm buying
you're doing your thing now where you double down on a take that is incorrect.
The best quarterback prospect to ever hit college football can't play
He's
over
not
a 7th-round pick.
There were 2
who didn't even
perfectly
play
rated
good.
quarterback recruits in the history of the sport.
Quinn Ewers couldn't even play at Ohio State. He couldn't even play at Ohio State.
Quinn Ewers. Go look it up.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
Chiefs Chargers in Brazil on Friday on YouTube. They're going to give everyone that game for free. They're so generous because the rest of the season they're going to fleece you for all your money.
That's one, Scott. That division to me, based on what's happened to the Chiefs the last couple seasons, that division, the AFC West, could be up for grabs here. I know Chiefs fans think I'm probably out of my mind.
Ferrall, coast to coast, only on SportsGrid.
Everybody loves leftovers. I hear that Frank he's not even going to bathe until the Knicks game is over tomorrow. He's going Friday, going to pour tequila all over himself and get set on fire and down on 33rd and 7th.
I heard he's not going to bathe until they get eliminated, which is
Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, who knows how far that's going to go.
Ripe. It might be right.
It might be tough scene over there. Here we go. Leftover time. The NFL owners today voted to allow the NFL players to play flag football at the 2028 LA Olympics is expected to pass. Now, let me ask you a question here. Just a sidebar question on this. I would have to say, what majority of the players in the NFL were born in the United States? What do you think? I mean, just off the top, I mean, it's got to be an extremely high percentage, wouldn't you say? Like
yes.
The game isn't played anywhere else really around the world. How are they having this at the Olympics? Is there going to be like 10 United States teams and they're going to play each other? Like what's the?
I have no idea.
How are they pulling this off? Like I'm not saying they don't have guys in the Netherlands who could throw together a flag football team, but they're going to go play Joe Burrow and Tyreek Hill out at the Olympics. Like I don't know how great this is going to be.
They should hire Ryan Reynolds to pick a team like they did Wrexham. They could get a European team.
Yeah,
going, maybe
just do that. The Eagles gave head coach Nick Sirianni a multi-year extension after winning the Super Bowl. You deserve that.
Super Bowl.
The Bears, of course, traded for Joe Thuney from the Chiefs. They gave him a 2-year extension, new money for him. The Browns gave Shedeur Sanders his rookie deal, which is standard, 4 years, 4.6 for their 4th-round pick, 5th-round pick, wherever he was. Chargers signed 1st-round pick Omarion Hampton to his rookie deal. Packers
made way more money.
Yes. He did. He made Omarion Hampton made a ton of money. So did Golden for his rookie deal. You brought this up earlier with, I guess it was Gabe or DeCourcy. USC may not renew the Notre Dame rivalry.
They all like it, and you don't. There's no way you like that.
Well, look, I love the tradition of college football, which, to be quite honest with you, is gone anyway. So I guess what's the difference at this point? Like, it bothers me still that Notre Dame doesn't play Michigan every year. It bothers me that Notre Dame doesn't play Michigan State. They used to play Michigan and Michigan State every year. Purdue, every year. USC and Stanford, every year. So these are just going to continue to just go away. And I get Mike's point, which was, and Gabe's point, which was, you didn't want to be in a conference and these are the consequences you're going to have. All right, fine. But it just sucks that the traditions of college football just continue to go further and further away. 33 golfers made the cut at both the Masters and the PGA Championship. Scotty Scheffler was the best of all of them. 19 under between the two for Scotty Scheffler. Tom Kim was 18 over combined in the two, but at least he made both cuts. 33 players who did it. Do you think it should be more or less that made the cut at both?
I think it should be more.
Yeah, it probably should. When you go and think, there's a lot of guys who missed, a lot of heavies missed the cut at this past one, and a few that did at the Masters. Speaking of golf, the TGL will add a 7th team to the league in 2027. It'll be the Motor City Golf Club, obviously Detroit-based, and the ownership groups will be from the Lions and the Broncos. So the Ford family and the Waltons out there in Denver, who now, of course, own Walmart and everything else, they'll be part of that. Boogie Flan withdraws from the NBA draft, and he leaves Arkansas to go to Florida, is where Boogie Flan will go. And Texas Tech gives head coach Grant McCaslin an extension through 30-31. Well-deserved. He did a great job there.
I thought he would. Remember, he was going to get the Indiana job, everyone thought, and he's staying in Lubbock till 30-31. Yep. That's crazy. Ferrall finish. Wrestling announcer Jim Ross announced he has colon cancer. Funeral home puts the wrong man in a casket, and then top this off. Then they try to tell the family that they're the ones. The family is the one that's wrong about their relative. They think that they put the right man in the casket, and the family's like, no, that's not our father in the casket. A New Orleans woman kept a mummified son's remains in her house for a half a year. I bet it smelled lovely in there. Front Office Sports is next, then GTD, then In Game Live, then Sports Rage. Catch Barbara and Lisi tonight at 8 as well on SportsGrid Radio. Get my app. It's Ferrall. Search Ferrall. It's badass. We'll see you tomorrow at 3 on Coast to Coast. Chiefs Chargers in Brazil on Friday on YouTube. They're going to give everyone that game for free. They're so generous because the rest of the season they're going to fleece you for all your money.
That's one, Scott. That division to me, based on what's happened to the Chiefs the last couple seasons, that division, the AFC West, could be up for grabs here. I know Chiefs fans think I'm probably out of my mind.
Ferrall, Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
If you believe he should be in the Hall of Fame, there's, let's let him wait another 2 years. Wait, he's already dead at this point. Like, what are you waiting for? Another 2 to 3 years. He's either in or he's out. And sometimes you look at that too, Tom. It's like you can't tell, the history of Major League Baseball without Pete Rose.
Frankly, the writers have some standard that they want to hold players to, which seems to fluctuate on a player-to-player basis. So he should be in the Hall of Fame, but I'm not sure how quickly he'll get there.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
You are a Pirates fan. I don't think you've got a reason good enough for me to be wearing Met stuff when the Mets are playing the Pirates right now. I don't think I'm going to go, okay, I see it at the end of your explanation.
I'm going to put it on Vinny. I'm going to put it on all the Mets fans. The Pirates won 2 in a row. Fired the manager over the weekend. A new era of Pirates baseball has begun.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you've got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.